telling you, with everything that you've learned in these lessons, you really need to go back and review, because now that I'm seeing it on a board, I can see there's a lot of stuff that you can't possibly have soaked up. You got to go back and practice it some more. Okay, we also talked about arpeggio style rhythm. You remember the lessons where we talked about playing chords not as a strummy rhythm, but more of an arpeggio. Remember those lessons? So that was another technique that we talked about, using chords, but instead of strumming, we had a broken arpeggio sound. So that's very effective for different types of rhythm guitar styles. We also talked early in the lessons about finger style stuff, where we played some simple finger picking exercises like. Okay, so those are some interesting things that we talked about, and there's a whole lot more. We're going to do that about finger picking in the next course as well. We're going to really bust into that big time. Okay, then we also talked about the small triad shapes and how effective those can be for adding melodic interest to chord progression. So those are really effective at making our rhythm parts more interesting than just playing the strummy type chords. Okay? And we also talked about transposing chord progressions. And we looked at analysis of 3 keys to start off, and looked at the Roman numeral system of analyzing chords. And then we applied that to 3 or 4 different progressions, and we put you on the spot and talked about how you would do that. And that's going to be very useful for a lot of situations that you're going to be involved in as a musician. So there's a lot of additional work we're going to do on that, because we only talked about diatonic chord progressions, but it gets more complicated when you start adding other chords to it. Okay, and then we also talked a little bit about harmonized chord scales. Remember when we took chord scales and triads, those up and down the neck. We took a diatonic chord scale in major sevenths and minor sevenths. We had a few progressions that walked up and down chord scales, and that was really effective for a lot of different situations you're going to come across when you play songs on the guitar. Okay, so and then finally we added ninths, and geez, I didn't even write this one down, but we added the ninths and the second to bar chords too, not just the open position chords, but to bar chords like we just talked about. We added minor and major ninths to these simple triad structures to give us more color in triad progressions. So that's another thing I could have added. I'm sure there's a few things I even forgot, but that's a lot of stuff. I tell you what, if I had someone had showed me all this when I was first learning guitar, and they showed it to me in 40 classes, I would have been like, my God, I could have like started gigging as a musician right away. But now you've got it at home, and I'm sure you're really putting this together. But believe me, you want to go back and study, go back and review some of the lessons, and really check out some of this information again, because I'm sure you probably missed a few things. And explore some of the classes in the single string contents too, because I go over some of the same stuff, and then of course applied mostly to soloing in the other contents. But what we're going to look forward to seeing you in the future, we're going to take a lot of these concepts and we're really going to bust them out and add a lot more information to them. Now we're going to get into more specific styles. We're going to get into some more rhythm guitar techniques, some more funk rhythm guitar technique, and some more jazz, even some jazz techniques. We're going to learn how to take a walking bass there, let's say. Isn't that going to be fun? We're going to learn how to do stuff like that in the next lesson, and that's all just taking the chords that we've talked about, adding some extra colors to them, and learning how to walk around scale degrees and chord scales with our bass notes. We're also going to learn how to do a lot more with finger picking kind of stuff and how to dress up chords with our about Jimi Hendrix kind of classic rhythm guitar styles while studying classic examples from Jimi Hendrix. So stay tuned for that stuff. Okay, so it's been a lot of fun, and I hope you've studied hard. I'm going to take you out with something fun, and tell your friends all about these classes. And I'm going to see you in the next 40 contents. Dave Hill signing off, and look for me. You can always get a hold of me on my internet website, davehillmusic.com. You can also find material there, books and CDs, and I'm going to be releasing a new record soon, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. But visit me at my website, davehillmusic.com. Look for my book in music stores. It's called The Lictionary, published by Hal Leonard. I'll see you on the next contents. Okay, talk to you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.